So today was the big Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase, the first of the year for Nintendo. What games were going to be there from third-party companies? Well, we got to watch and find out, folks. Hit that subscribe button if you're new, but let's just hop straight into this. The first game that was shown was a game called Orbitals. I believe this was shown at the Game Awards. It was like revealed at the Game Awards. It's a 80s Japanese anime style game. Kind of got like a split fiction vibe going on where you play with someone else and like a split screen sort of thing. I do like think the art style looks high quality. I'm not the biggest fan of anime style games, but you know, I'm probably not going to play it, but it does have game share, which is cool. It is a Switch 2 exclusive and comes out in summer of 2026. And then for some reason, we're getting some Switch 1 games. Okay. Paranorma Sight, a Japanese anime art style game. It's a story interactive novel. There's like a mermaid and stuff like that. I don't know. I guess it looks okay-ish, but I'm not, once again, I'm not playing it, but, you know, it looks all right. I don't know why we're doing Switch 1 games because I feel like we've all moved on from that system. It comes out on February 19th. It is a Square Enix published game. And then I'm thinking to myself, well, the next game's not going to be anime style. They're going to give me a break, right? No, I was wrong. Captain Tsubasa, yet another anime style game. I believe it actually has an anime. It's a soccer game. 3 in a row, you know, starting out hot with the anime style stuff. Comes out in 2026. Okay, and now we're getting back to Switch 2 stuff, which is good. Tokyo Scramble was up next. Another Japanese style game, but you know, this is kind of weird, and honestly, like, it looks like a game that I would be potentially interested in, but it just looks, I don't know, kind of bad. Like, you're hiding from weird creatures with no sort of defense thing, and like the creatures are like dinosaur alien things. I didn't think the animation like looked very good. It has a weird game share feature as well, where like people can like help you like move and make decisions and stuff like that. I don't know. It looks pretty rough. It does come out on February 11th. Maybe I'll check it out if it's cheap just to see like what it's all about, but I don't know. It just, comparative to some other stuff that you're going to see, it just doesn't look very high quality. Valheim was next. It's coming to the Switch 2 in 2026. I've never played Valheim before. I don't really plan on playing it now. You craft a bunch of crap. You battle stuff. You can play with up to 10 people online, which I guess is kind of neat, but I don't know 10 people to play online on a video game with. But yes, it's coming out sometime in 2026. Hollow Knight Switch 2 edition with enhanced visuals and frame rates. It comes out today. So if you want a Switch 2 edition of Hollow Knight, now you can get that. However, if you have the Switch 1 edition, you do get a free upgrade to the Switch 2 edition, which, I mean, you can't really complain about that. eFootball Kickoff. Little soccer action. That's clearly soccer. They show that David Beckham is in the game. Bend it like Beckham. That was a big deal at one point, right? It's Konami's soccer game. Comes out in September of 2026. Next up was The Adventures of Elliot, that HD 2D game that I believe it got a demo. I never checked out the demo, though. It looks fine. You know, I'm not the biggest fan of HD 2D games. Like, I feel like once you've seen one, you've kind of seen them all because they all look so similar with, like, the sprites and stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe that's just a personal thing for me. The game will be coming out on January 18th. Next up was Super Bomberman Collection, a collection of Famicom and Super Nintendo Bomberman games. It also features some unreleased versions that never came stateside as well with the Super Famicom. Shouldn't this be on NSO? Like, isn't that what I'm paying for NES games and Super Nintendo games, and yet they're doing this collection instead? I don't know. You know, if you're a big Bomberman fan, it comes out today. I guess that's kind of cool. And then we had a game that I expected to be there, which was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And to be honest with you guys, I'm actually quite curious to see how this runs on the Switch 2. This is kind of... the thing of it is, like, Final Fantasy VII Remake looks really good, but you have much more confined areas, whereas Rebirth is a lot larger areas and more kind of freedom in where you're moving around. They did show the flying chocobo, which is actually where I am in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on my PS5, and I'm just so annoyed with doing that. Like, I think I'll just be stuck there forever. The game comes out on June 3rd, so pretty quick turnaround time, honestly. And then you have to, you know, realize that the Switch 2 is caught up with the PlayStation 5. I assume it's also going to come out on Xbox on June 3rd. But 2 Final Fantasy VII games in 1 year on the Switch 2. I guess that's pretty cool. Pragmata was up next. They did some preview event of this recently, and evidently it's like 60 frames on the Switch 2. Like, that RE engine is doing wonders on this system, folks. As far as the game is concerned, I don't know if I'm interested in it. Like, the little kid annoys me. I don't like little kids in games. It's just like, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. You know, the hacking when you're fighting and stuff like that. You know, okay. I don't know. I guess it's interesting in terms of the gameplay because it's kind of different, but I don't know. Maybe I would have preferred a more traditional space-style game. It looks good graphically. It comes out on April 24th, and there is a demo today. I will check that out and let you guys know what I think about that demo at the very least. Turok Origins is coming to Nintendo Switch 2, the Turok game that looks nothing like a Turok game. Honestly, didn't think that this trailer was as bad as the first one was. I just don't like the weird focus on multiplayer and upgrades, but I don't know. Maybe it could be all right with some friends and stuff like that. Fall of 2026. Kyoto Xanadu, which is a game where you're a Japanese school child. Thank God we don't have enough of those games already existing. But the trailer wasn't that bad because it wasn't like a standard RPG like most of those games are. It's like 2D exploration through labyrinths with 3D fights, like a traditional RPG 3D fight. I'm not going to play it, but I mean, at least it's something a little bit different in terms of the gameplay. Comes out in summer of 2026. And then they're literally doing a whole slew of games that are anime style. Like, they literally said that because I guess we haven't had enough anime games thus far. Digimon Digital Monsters coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Has multiple graphical modes. Comes out on July 10th. Don't really care. Grand Blue Fantasy. It had a really long title, and I did not feel like typing it all out. I guess it looks fine if you're a Grand Blue Fantasy fan. They should have named the Switch 2 the Switch Weeb, honestly. July 9th it comes out. Monster Hunter Stories 3 was up next. I mean, you know, this is a little different. It's just anime looking. You know, I don't think it's an anime style game. I think there's a very distinct, you know, difference between those things. The game looks fine. I don't need to know lore from some obscure anime or some long-running anime game series. Comes out on March 13th, and yet another demo today. So Capcom with Pragmata demo and a Monster Hunter Stories 3 demo. And then things kind of got a little bit weird, and I got a little bit confused. Because remember what we said about Super Bomberman? Well, there's this thing called the Arcade Archives, and like, they released some cool stuff on there. They did show that Rave Racer is coming to Arcade Archives. It's like Bandai Namco arcade games and stuff like that. Okay, I get it. And then they announced that they're doing console archives. Console archives. Like, shouldn't this stuff be on NSO once again? They showed a game called Doraemon, Sonic Wings Special, Ninja Gaiden 2 for the NES. Like, what? But they also showed off Cool Borders, which is a PS1 game, so I don't know what the hell's going on here. Cool Borders and Ninja Gaiden 2 are available for purchase on the Switch 2 today. Then it's a sizzle real time. I'm going to go through these games very, very quickly. Scott Pilgrim EX, Another Eden Begins, Reanimal, WWE 2K26, Star Trek Voyager, Disney Dreamlight Switch 2 Edition, PGA Tour, Cold Set Begins, Goat Simulator 3, and Tales of Arise. I mean, WWE 2K26, like, I did say that was going to be here in my predictions video. But yeah, most of these games don't really interest me. Resident Evil 9 is shown again, I should say. And honestly, I'm already sold on this game, Capcom. I don't know why you're showing it to me again. Like, Capcom is like by far the best third party on the Switch 2 thus far in terms of releases and in terms of quality of the releases. They just showed the game some more. It's all stuff that we've pretty much seen already. Leon has a Porsche, and I do wonder if you're going to be able to drive that around in the game, or if it's just for show. I mean, the gameplay looks great. The combat looks great. I'm already sold on this. I want it now. It is kind of funny, though, if you watch this specific trailer back, whenever they were about to shoot a zombie or something like that, they would always cut away. There's actually no violence really in it. And I'm thinking to myself, well, maybe they're showing this because there's going to be a demo. Comes out on February 27th. No demo. So, throw that away. They also mentioned that RE7 and Village are coming as well. Still no 2, 3, or 4. And now it's time for the last announcement. And boy, oh boy. Todd Howard. That's not who I wanted to see as the last announcement. Now, technically, it is Xbox, so it is, interesting to see more Xbox stuff here, but I didn't want to see Todd Howard. Fallout 4 Anniversary, which evidently was a very buggy mess when it came out on the other platforms, is coming to Switch 2. I honestly feel like, they used to be called Bethesda, but I felt like there was quality with Bethesda. With the games, it was just they were so big that they were buggy. But I feel like that's gotten substantially worse since they were purchased by Xbox. I don't like the base building in Fallout 4. I'm not a base builder boy. But Fallout 4 is coming out on February 24th. And then Indiana Jones was shown off. I'm actually very curious to see how this performs on the Switch 2. Looking at the trailer, there's not a whole lot that you can really deduce from it. It actually looks pretty good, but I do wonder to myself, is this truly Switch 2 footage, or are you trying to pull a fast one on me, Todd Howard? Because I don't trust you, and I don't trust anyone at Xbox. But I'll be double dipping on this. I'm a huge fan of this game. I never dipped the first time, technically, because I just played it on Game Pass. It will be coming out on May 12th, and the real final announcement is Oblivion Remastered. It's coming to Switch 2 once again. Another sloppy anniversary remaster, whatever the fuck you want to call it, from Bethesda on the other platforms. I played it on my Xbox, and there was tons of weird issues that were not prevalent in the original game, such as weird graphical issues. I mean, the game itself is still fun if you've never played it. I guess the handheld mode might be attractive. It's buggy, and that's coming out in 2026, and that's the show. It was all right, I guess. I don't know. I'm not saying I overhyped myself up or anything like that, but I wanted more variety, and I guess we got a little bit more variety. There were some stealth drops of stuff, which is nice, like demos and stuff, but I don't know. Too much anime stuff in this for me. A lot of these games just aren't super interesting to me, and I still want to see larger third-party games come to the system, especially that we know that it's capable of it. It seems like Capcom is the one company and that's trying really hard, and Square Enix, and then everyone else is just kind of shoving their thumb up their ass. But maybe you enjoyed this. Let me know what you think about it in the comments section down below. I'm sure OJ from Player Essence was giddy as a schoolgirl with all of these anime games. And as always, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Be sure to hit that bell. Be sure to dislike. I don't care what you do. I demand interaction. I demand your interaction. And that's the least you could do for me. You know, help me out a little bit here. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Let's go, Knicks. 8 in a row, baby. Kiss my ass. All right, later.